Why do we keep repeating the same mistake over and over again? Why do we fall for people who make us feel alive and then slowly drain the life out of us? Why do we choose the wrong person when the right one is standing right in front of us? Tonight, we're going to explore the psychology behind the most confusing phenomenon of all: falling for the wrong people. You might think it's bad luck, or that you're cursed, or that you simply haven't met the right person yet. But what if it's not luck at all? What if there's a hidden psychological pattern that makes us predictably choose the wrong person? A pattern that's been quietly shaping our love lives since childhood. And the truth is, it's not just about love. It's about survival, identity, fear. Here's the first secret. We don't fall for the wrong people. We fall for the people who match our inner story. Your brain is constantly searching for familiarity, not comfort, not happiness, familiarity. And sometimes, the most familiar thing in your life is pain. Think about your earliest relationships, your parents, your caregivers, the way love was shown to you. If love was inconsistent, if it came in bursts, if it was conditional, your brain learned a dangerous equation. Love equals pain plus reward. And because our brains are pattern machines, we start seeking the same pattern later in life. Not because we want pain, but because it feels known. And familiarity feels safer than uncertainty. Here's the next layer. We don't just fall for the wrong people, we fall for people who need fixing. It feels noble, it feels powerful, it feels like a mission. We become addicted to the idea of being the one who saves them. But what if the real reason is darker? What if we're not saving them at all? What if we're saving ourselves? When we choose someone broken, we're choosing a role. We become the hero, the rescuer, the one who finally fixes the problem. But the moment the relationship becomes stable, the excitement disappears. And suddenly, we're left with a terrifying realization. We don't know how to be loved without chaos. Chaos triggers the brain's reward system. When you're in a turbulent relationship, your body releases dopamine, adrenaline, oxytocin. You feel alive, you feel intense, and your brain starts to associate instability with attraction. This is why you might feel drawn to someone who treats you poorly, not because you're weak, but because your brain is wired to interpret instability as love. Let's break another myth. Love is not the same as need. But our minds often confuse the two. When you feel like you need someone, your brain floods with chemicals that mimic love. So what looks like love might actually be dependency. And dependency is the easiest way to stay in a relationship, even when it hurts. We also tend to mistake compatibility for familiarity. You might think, we just click. We're so alike. But sometimes clicking is just two damaged people matching their broken pieces. Compatibility can be comforting, but it can also be a trap. Because when two people are similar in their pain, they can become experts at recreating it. Here's the most chilling truth. Sometimes we fall for the wrong person because they mirror the part of us we refuse to face. They show us what we don't want to admit, our insecurities, our fears, our emptiness, our emotional wounds. And the moment we recognize ourselves in someone else, we become strangely attracted, not because they're good for us, but because they are proof that we're not alone. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. We often blame fate. We say, it just wasn't meant to be. I guess I'm unlucky. Maybe I'm not meant to be loved. But what if the truth is more terrifying? What if we keep choosing the wrong people because our mind is protecting us from something even scarier? The truth is, we are afraid of being truly seen. Real love demands vulnerability. Real love requires trust, boundaries, emotional honesty, and self-awareness. And honestly, many of us have never been taught how to do that. So we choose relationships that don't require us to grow. We choose relationships that allow us to stay the same, even if staying the same hurts. So, how do we stop repeating this pattern? It starts with one question. Who are you trying to become by staying with the wrong person? Because the wrong person isn't always a villain. Sometimes they're a mirror, and sometimes they're a warning. To break the cycle, you must do something most people avoid. Look inward. The reason we fall for the wrong people isn't because we're broken, it's because we're human. Our brains are wired for survival, not happiness. We seek familiarity, we chase intensity, we confuse need for love, and we repeat the same pattern until we finally learn. Love isn't a rescue mission. Love isn't a puzzle. Love is a choice to heal, a choice to grow, a choice to be seen. So next time you find yourself drawn to the wrong person, ask yourself, what part of me is trying to be healed? What story am I repeating? And what am I afraid to face? Because the moment you answer those questions, that's when you stop falling. And that's when you start choosing.